David Duval's fans couldn't help but wonder, what the hell happened to his career? Was it his confidence crossing the line into arrogance that sent him downhill? Or did he get caught up in something shady, like drugs, that ruined his game? Maybe it was something else entirely. The truth is, no one really knows, and that just makes the mystery even more intriguing. Before the 1999 Ryder Cup, Duval made some pretty controversial comments that definitely got people talking. He said that players should be paid for taking part in the tournament. Now, if you're familiar with the Ryder Cup, you know it's considered one of the most prestigious events in golf. It's not just about the game, it's about representing your country and competing with national pride. Players typically don't get paid for being there. Instead, they play for the honor of representing their team and competing at such a high level. So when Duval suggested that the players should be compensated, it caused quite a stir. It wasn't something people expected to hear, especially from a top golfer like him. His comments were seen by many as going against the whole spirit of the event. The Ryder Cup isn't like other tournaments where players are competing for a cash prize. It's more about the sense of duty, camaraderie, and pride in being chosen to represent your country on such a big stage. People felt that his opinion shifted the focus away from these values and made it feel more like a business transaction than an honor. It was a surprising perspective, and it sparked a lot of debate. Some agreed with him, thinking that professional golfers who dedicate so much to their careers deserve compensation for their time. But for many others, his comments seemed out of place, like they didn't quite fit with the tradition and the history of the Ryder Cup. Not only were his comments controversial, but his demeanor also sparked some debate, though it was more about how people perceived him than any specific actions he took. As much as Duval loved being at the top of his game, he wasn't really the type to thrive on the spotlight or the showmanship that comes with being number one. Unlike someone like Tiger Woods, who seemed to shine in front of the crowds with his big smiles, fist pumps, and those iconic uppercuts or primal screams after a big win, Duval was a lot more reserved. He didn't show that kind of outward emotion on the course. In fact, the 3 fist pumps and the hand slap he gave after shooting his unforgettable 59 were probably the most enthusiastic display of emotion most fans ever saw from him. That was as flashy as he got. It wasn't that he was rude or dismissive, but his quiet nature and reluctance to open up gave off an impression that he wasn't interested in connecting with others, especially outside of his game. One thing that definitely added to this perception was his constant wearing of sunglasses. It didn't matter if it was sunny or cloudy, he was rarely seen without them. To some, it seemed like he was trying to create a barrier between himself and the world around him. People interpreted this as standoffish, or even as a way for him to avoid engaging with fans, media, or anyone trying to get a glimpse of the real Duval. Of course, there was more to it than just trying to appear distant. He wore those sunglasses for practical reasons too, mainly to protect his sensitive eyes. He had astigmatism, so wearing shades wasn't just about style or creating distance from others. It was a way of managing his condition. In the world of professional golf, where many players are used to being in the public eye and engaging with fans and the media, Duval's more reserved nature stood out. His refusal to play into the usual expectations of a charismatic, fan-friendly golfer made him seem more distant. Apart from his personality, he also made headlines when his performance declined drastically after his 2001 Open Championship win. People couldn't help but wonder what happened to the golfer who had been so dominant just a short time earlier. While he was open about the fact that he was dealing with some physical injuries and personal struggles, there were a lot of rumors swirling around too. Some whispered about the possibility of drug use, while others hinted at personal issues that he hadn't shared with the public. This period in his career became a bit of a mystery, and the rumors only added to the intrigue. Fans, journalists, and even other golfers were all wondering what had caused this drastic change. The speculation continued, but he never fully addressed the rumors or gave any more details about what was really happening behind the scenes. What made this time even more controversial was that no one really knew for sure what the truth was. Duval remained tight-lipped about many aspects of his life, and the public was left to guess. It was a frustrating situation for many, especially given how he had been on top of the world not long before. Despite these controversies, his career was still nothing short of outstanding. Golf was practically in his blood, as his father was a golf instructor and a club professional, which meant Duval was immersed in the sport from a young age. He graduated from the Episcopal High School of Jacksonville in 1989, the same year he won the U.S. Junior Amateur Championship. He then went on to play for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets men's golf team, where he had an amazing college career. He was a four-time first-team All-American, a two-time ACCE Player of the Year, and was named the 1993 National Player of the Year. While still in college, he even found himself leading a PGA Tour event, the Bell South Classic, after 3 rounds, a tournament he would go on to win later in his career as a professional. After spending 2 years on the Nike Tour and winning twice, Duval earned his PGA Tour card in 1995. His success came quickly, with 7 second-place finishes between 1995 and 1997. He qualified for the 1996 President's Cup, where he played a key role with a perfect 4-0 record on the winning American team. However, his first PGA Tour victory didn't come until October 1997, when he won the Michelob Championship at Kingsmill. That month, he went on to win 2 more tournaments, including the Tour Championship. His breakthrough year came in 1998 when he topped the PGA Tour money list and won the Varden Trophy and Byron Nelson Award for the lowest scoring average. He also finished second on the money list in 1997 and 1999. Over the next few years, Duval won 13 PGA Tour events, including the 1997 Tour Championship, the 1999 Players Championship, and the 2001 Open Championship. His 2001 Open victory was especially memorable, with his humble and heartfelt speech gaining praise from British commentators. Other highlights from his career include reaching number 1 in the world rankings in March 1999, shooting a historic 59 in the 1999 Bob Hope Chrysler Classic, and winning the 2000 World Cup with Tiger Woods. He also played on the victorious 1999 and 2002 Ryder Cup teams. After his 2001 Open Championship win, his game went into a decline, dropping to 80th on the money list in 2002 and 211th in 2003. He took a long break to recover from injuries and personal issues. Since then, he hasn't won a PGA Tour event, with his last victory in 2001. Duval had a solid start to the 2006 season, making the cut in his first 2 tournaments and finishing tied for 16th at the U.S. Open at Winged Foot, where his second round 68 was the best score of the day. Although he didn't perform as well in the other majors, he showed improvement, avoiding the rounds of 80+ that had plagued him in previous years. In 2007, after a steady start, he took another break from the tour due to personal struggles, including the death of his mother and his wife's difficult pregnancy. This led the PGA Tour to revise its medical exemption policy, allowing him 20 starts for the next season. In 2008, Duval made a comeback, finishing tied for 39th at the Open Championship. The following year, he made a major splash with a T2 finish at the U.S. Open at Bethpage Black, his best result since 2002. Although he fell short of winning, his performance earned him a significant jump in the world rankings. His 2010 season showed signs of a comeback, but he struggled in 2011, losing his tour card. After a few years of playing on sponsor exemptions, he announced in 2013 that 2014 would be his last season asking for exemptions. By 2022, Duval began playing on the PGA Tour Champion circuit after turning 50. In 2018, he also served as a vice captain for the U.S. Ryder Cup team. Alongside his tournament play, Duval became a golf commentator. From 2012 to 2014, he worked for ESPN at the Open and U.S. Open, and in 2015, he joined Golf Channel. Since 2020, he's been ESPN's lead analyst for the PGA Championship. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe.